We've all become
People become
very cognizant of Jack
very cognizant of Jack
and his story.
and his story.
And when Alibaba
And when Alibaba
went public,
went public,
with the largest
with the largest
IPO in history,
IPO in history,
we knew a lot
we knew a lot
more about him.
more about him.
So I want to talk
So I want to talk
about his personal
about his personal story.
I want to talk
I want to talk
about
about
how many times
how many times
he tried
we tried and
and
failed,
what kept him going.
and what kept him
I want
going.
to talk about where
I want to talk
he is
about
today
where he is today
and how he got
and how he got
here.
here.
Begin with this
I'll begin with
question,
this
Jack.
question. Why are you
back at Davos?
back at Davos?
It's a
It's been
long break for
a
7
long break.
years, I think.
For 7 years, I think.
My last
My last trip
trip
here was in year 2008.
2008. But
But
I was coming for
I was coming for the year 2001
for the young global.
for the young global leader for tomorrow.
And I think
And I think
I never heard about
I remember I never heard about Davos
when I came.
when I came.
But when I came
But when I came into Switzerland,
and in Switzerland, so many young people
so many young people demonstrate.
Was such a horrible.
It was such a horrible stance, and I asked them, what are they doing?
They say
They said
anti-globalization.
Globalization.
And I said, why?
And I said, why?
Globalization is a great thing.
Globalization is a great thing.
Why people
Why people don't like
it?
Why people don't like it?
And then we come
all
the way for 2
all
hours.
the way for 2 hours.
Here there's a machine
There's a machine
gun. There's
gun.
people check.
There's a people checking
I say, oh God,
us out.
is that a fallen?
Is it a film
Oh, is it a prison? We're
or is a prison?
gonna go inside.
What is that?
But
But
when I joined
the forum
at the young global
as the young global leader, I was thrilled
by so many
ideas.
For the first
For the first 4 years,
learn
I learned
what does
what does globalization mean? What does cooperative citizenship mean? What does social responsibility mean?
All
these new ideas, and I saw so many great leaders talking about leadership.
And I benefit a lot.
I benefit a lot.
And the year 2000.
And in the year 2008 and 9, when the financial crisis, I thought it's better to go back to work. Because we can never win the world by talking. So go back. Spend 7 years.
Now I come back.
I think it's time to do something in return. I learned so much
12 years ago.
12 years ago.
So why I should not talk
So why
the young
Should I not be
global leader of
talking to the young global
Today,
leader of
showing
today,
them
sharing with them
how we gone through?
how we've gone through,
That was the thing.
so that
Let's start with where you
let's start with where you are today.
how big
Just how big
is Alibaba?
is Alibaba?
How many people come
How many people come
every day?
every day?
How many people come in a week?
How many people come in a week?
How fast is it growing?
How fast is it growing?
Yeah, we have
Yeah, we have over 100 million
buyers visiting
buyers
our site,
visiting our
shopping
site,
our site
shop on our site
every day.
every day.
And we created
And we created
100 million.
100 million
we
every day.
created
We created
14 million
jobs
jobs
for China directly
directly
and indirectly. Directly. And
we grew
we
from
grew from
18 people
18 people
to 30,000
to 30,000.
18 people in my
apartment. 18 people in my apartment.
to now
To now we have 4
big campers.
big campers.
Compared to
Compared to
15 years ago,
15 years ago,
we were big.
we were big.
But compared to 15,
But compared to 15 years later,
still a baby.
we're still a baby.
How big will you be
How big will you be
15 years from now?
15 years from now?
I think 15 years ago,
I think 15 years ago,
I told my
I told my team that
15 years
15 years
in the past 15
in the past 15 years,
we grow from
we go from
nothing
nothing
to this size.
to this size.
And 15 years
And 15 years later, I want
know
people to see and know about Alibaba
Taobao
because it's
it's
already everywhere. I want
15 years ago when
15 years ago when we talked about what is e-commerce,
why small business
why small business
using this
can use this e-commerce,
use internet
use the internet,
can do business
can do business
across the nation.
across the nation.
And I hope 15
And I hope 15 years later,
people forget about e-commerce
people forget about
because we
e-commerce
think
because we think
it's like electricity.
it's like electricity.
Nobody think it's a high.
Nobody thinks it's either high tech today.
This is something
This is something
I
that
don't want
I don't want 15 years later.
still walk on the
We still work
street
on the street
talking about why
talking about why
and
and how e-commerce can help people.
Try to get into
You tried to get
3
into 3 colleges.
each time they reject.
Each time they rejected.
no, I
No, right? I tried.
there's
There's an examination
examination that young people
that young people,
if you want to go
if you want to go university, you have to take
take
the examination.
So I failed 3
So I failed 3 times.
I love
But I failed a lot of things. I failed for funny things.
that I failed
That I failed a key primary school test 2 times.
and I failed
And I failed
like 3 times
3 times for the middle school. Middle schools.
and
And you will never
you will never
believe
in
in Hangzhou,
so my city,
in my city,
there's only
there's only
one middle
middle school
that lasts only.
that lasts only 1 year.
It was changed from
It was trained from
primary school
primary school to middle school
because
because our graduates
of our
of our school,
school no
no middle
no
school
middle school accepted
accepted us because we are too bad.
It will become a middle
It
school.
would become a middle school.
What effect did it have,
What effect did it have? Tom,
being rejected?
being rejected.
Well, I think we have to get used
Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that
Even
good.
today,
Even today,
we still have a lot.
we still have a lot of people
reject
reject us.
I think
I think
when I
when I
graduate from
graduated from universities,
and before
you know,
for 3 years I
for 3 years
tried to
I tried and failed to get into universities.
to apply jobs
So I applied to jobs
for 30 times,
for 30 times,
got rejected.
got rejected.
I went for a
I went for police.
police. They said no, you're
They say no, you're not
I
good.
went to
I went to even the KFC.
KFC.
When
When KFC
KFC came to
China,
China,
I say
came to my city,
You applied.
24 people went
24 people went
for the job.
for the job.
23 people
23 people
Accepted.
were accepted.
only one guy.
I was the only guy.
And we went for
And we went for
police.
police. 5
4
people,
of them accepted.
4 of them accepted.
I was the only guy that I
I was the only guy that never received it.
So to me,
So
Being
to
turned
me,
down,
being turned down,
rejected.
rejected.
Oh, by the way, I told
Oh, by the way,
you that I would
I told you that when I applied
apply
for
for
Harvard
for 10 times.
for 10 times rejected.
I know I'll be rejected.
I know I would be rejected.
Why do I say that?
They are sorry
I'm
now.
sorry now. 10 times you wrote them and
10 times you wrote them
said, I'd like to come to Harvard.
and said, I'd like to come to Harvard.
And
Yeah.
then I told myself something
And then I told myself
that I should go teach.
someday I should go teach there one day.
I think that can be arranged.
I think that can be arranged.
Richard Nixon came to
Richard Nixon came
Hangzhou,
to Hangzhou,
and after that,
and after that,
tourists flooded
tourists flooded
the place.
the place.
And that's how you learn.
And that's how you learned English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
I really like
the I don't know why
I don't know why.
12, 13
At 12,
years old.
13 years old,
At the time I suddenly
at that time I certainly fell in love with the English, the language English.
And there's no place
And there is no place
you can
you can
learn
learn English at that time.
No books, English
There's no books,
books.
English books.
So I went to the
So I went to the
Hangzhou
Hangzhou
hotel.
Hotel,
now called Hangzhou Xiang
now called Hangzhou,
Hotel
sorry,
because that was
because that was
the hotel
the hotel
can receive the
that received
foreign.
the foreign visitor.
So every morning for
So every morning
9 years I
for 9 years,
showed them around
I showed them around
free guide,
as a free guide,
and they taught me.
and they taught me English.
And I think
And I think
that changed.
that changed to me.
Today I'm a one.
Today I'm 100%
100% made in China.
made. I'm 100% made in
I
China.
never got a one day
I never got one day
train outside
training outside of China.
China. And people
And when people
when people talk to
talk
me,
to me and say,
how
Jack,
can you speak English?
how can you speak English like that? Why
Sometimes
do you sometimes
you talk like an American.
talk like the Western
Western
guys?
guys.
Western
That
guys.
was the 9 years.
I think that was the 9 years.
These
These
Western foreign
Western
tourists
tourists
opened my mind
opened my mind
because
because
everything they told
everything they told me
was so different
was so different
from the things I
from the things
learned from school.
I learned from the schools and from my parents.
So now I will have
So now I have a habit.
whatever I see,
Whatever I see, whatever read,
I use my mind.
I use my mind.
Think about for 2 minutes.
Think about doing business.
Is that how margin
Is that how margin
became Jack Ma?
became Jack Ma?
Actually, Jack,
Actually, Jack,
the name was given by
actually Jack, the name was given by
a lady in
a lady in tennis.
tennis. She's a tourist.
She's a tourist.
So she came here
She came here
and she said
and she said
she came to Hangzhou.
came to Hangzhou. We became pen friends.
Margin is so
Margin is so difficult to pronounce.
So
So
she said,
she said,
do you have an English name?
do you have an English
I said,
name?
"No,
I
it's
said,
okay.
no.
Give me an English name.
Can you give me an English name? She said, okay. She said,
My father called it Jack.
my father's called Jack.
My husband called Jack.
My husband's called Jack.
What do you think about Jack?
What do you think about Jack?
I said, good.
I said, good.
So I've been using that.
So I've been using that for many years.
First visit to
First visit to
America, 1995.
America 1995.
1995.
1995.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came here for
I came here for a
project
project
helping
the local government to build up
highway.
a highway.
And you tried the
And you tried the
I
internet.
tried the internet
I tried the internet in Seattle
and
and
in a building called
in a building called the US Banks.
banks.
I don't know whether US Banks still there
But it's a
or not, but it's a building and
my friend
my friend opened a small office
which
which is like only
10% big.
10% bigger than this room,
There are a lot of much
and there are a lot of
computers in there.
computers in there.
And he said, Jack,
And he said, Jake,
this is internet.
this is internet.
I asked,
I asked,
what is internet?
what is internet?
He said, search
He said,
whatever you
search whatever you want.
At that time, they used
At that time, they used Mosaic,
very slow.
very slow.
And I said, I don't
And I said,
use it.
I don't use it.
to type because
I don't want to type
internet.
because computers are
Computers are so
expensive
expensive
in China.
If I destroy,
If I destroy it,
I cannot pay.
I cannot pay.
He said, just to
He said, just search
Search
it.
So I
Search
searched
it. He said, just search it.
first the
So
word.
I searched the first word beer.
I don't know.
I don't know why,
It's
because
easy to
it's
spell.
easy to spell.
And I see
And I see
beers from
beers from
Germany,
Germany,
beers from
beers from the USA,
beers from
beers from Japan,
Japan. But there's no beer.
Japan. But there's no beer from
And
China.
I say, okay,
And I say,
type the
type
second
the
word is
second
China.
word China.
No data.
No data.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I said,
1995.
Nothing. 1995.
1995. No.
1995.
No
No
data
data
about China.
about China.
So I talked to my friend.
So I talked to my friend.
Why not make some
Why don't I make something about China?
So we made
So we made a
a
small, very ugly looking page
called China.
called China.
It's something like
It's something like
I did a
I did
translation.
a translation
Just listed on
agencies
there.
and were listed on. It was so shocking.
We launched it
We launched at
9:40,
9:40 in the morning.
12:30.
12:30, I got a phone call from my friend.
you got
who
5.
said, Jack, you know you got 5 emails.
So what is email?
I said, what is email?
And
What
they say,
is email? And he said,
These
these are the things.
People so.
He said, people are so excited.
Where are you? This
Where are you?
is the first time
This is the first
I
time
see a Chinese
I see a Chinese website on that.
How can we
How can we when can we do something together?
So I think
this is something
interesting.
interesting.
So we should do it.
So we should do it.
Why did you call it Alibaba?
What did you call it, Alibaba?
Alibaba?
Alibaba?